Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome everybody out for our July Chamber Luncheon. I hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July weekend, and we're back in the swing of things. First and foremost, to kick off today's luncheon, I'd like to ask Pastor Jeffrey Griffith from Denham Street Baptist Church to please come up, bless our lunch today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Bobby. Just before I pray, back in May, our church sent letters to all of your businesses. And I want you to know something, that we really did pray. It was a form letter, but we prayed for your particular business that you would have a great year in this particular physical year. So we want you to know that. Excuse the junk mail, but one more letter we didn't think would hurt. Let's pray together. Father, we thank you today for every expression of your love to us. We thank you for our chamber luncheon. Thank you for the leadership of Somerset, Kentucky. Lord, all these that put this together and all that you're doing for us. I pray for a great year for every business in our town. I pray that you'd help us all to do what's right, to honor God, to serve you. Bless this time together, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pastor Griffith. We sure appreciate you being here. We have 1-2 for Tuesday today. Where's Mr. Dan Cheshire? He's all the way in the back. I see him back there. He brought a really good gift to raffle off at the end today. Dan wears a lot of hats. Dairy Queen on most days. Today he's here to talk for the UK Children's Miracle Network.
Thank you, Bob. Hello, everyone. I have with me a beautiful young lady next to me. Her name is Kate Cook, and I wanted to let everybody know that Kate is a national finalist for Children's Miracle Network champion. So that is fantastic. If she makes it, she would be the first UK children's champion from Kentucky. So let's all give Kate a big round of applause. Kate today is helping us collect donations for the Children's Miracle Network, specifically UK Children's Hospital. If you all haven't noticed, it is Children's Miracle Network. It is balloon season at Dairy Queen. So we are selling balloons for $1. You get $2 back in coupons. And 100% of those donations go directly to UK Children's Hospital. Nothing is held back for any fees, so 100% of your donations go there. Wanted to let you know also that over 3,000 kids from Pulaski County every year receive some sort of treatment, some sort of benefit from UK Children's. Also, recently, our local hospital became the second affiliate hospital for UK Children's Hospital. So that allows our children in our community to get a fast pass to UK Children's Hospital if they need to. So what a very worthy cause that we're doing. Let me see here. There's one more slide. This one right here. So this is what I want to touch on next. In addition to buying balloons to help us support UK Children's, we have something that is very important. It's called Miracle Treat Day at Dairy Queen. And that is where all Dairy Queens across the country donate a portion of their Blizzard sales to their local children's hospital. Our stores, we donate 100% of the proceeds for all Blizzard sales on that day. So that day is July the 30th. So everybody put that in your calendar. We can pre-sell Blizzard. So if you have your cell phone, take it out. Take a picture of this QR code. We can pre-order Blizzards, and the important thing is that we give everybody an opportunity to be a hero on that day. So if you own a business, be a hero to your employees and buy everybody a Blizzard. It'll give you a great halo for the day. You might even get more productivity out of them. If you're a parent, buy them for your family. Be a hero for your family. But most importantly, helping UK Children's Hospital is being a hero for all the kids that need it in their most crucial time of need at UK Children's Hospital. So we hope that everybody will rally around and buy Blizzard's our Miracle Treat Day. Kate also has a $100 Miracle Balloon. We've sold, about 50 of these things so far. They're $100 and they sit behind our counter in great view of all of our customers. So please consider helping us help the UK Children's Hospital. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks very much, Dan. We appreciate you being here and everything you do for our community. Appreciate all those hats you wear. A couple of announcements. Reese, I'm going to go through just a couple of quick announcements, and then we'll do the presentation if that's okay. A couple of things. First of all, info tables. I know you all have heard this spiel a few times, but I always like to do this. We have info tables here with us today. These are different chamber member businesses and organizations that can come in and set up. It's totally free to do so. If you would ever like to set up an information table to talk more about your business or organization with our luncheon get together, you're more than welcome to do that. Just call our office. What I ask out of everybody is try to find one business, one organization that maybe you don't know a lot about before you leave, and go by and introduce yourself and try to learn a little bit more about these wonderful businesses that are here in our community. These are all wonderful businesses and organizations, and I would challenge everybody just to find one before you leave, get to know a little bit more about somebody maybe you don't know a lot about. And I want to recognize them for being here today. So we have Somerset Hardwood Flooring, Campbellsville University, WTLO, Somerset 106, Fork Broadcasting, the Pulaski County Humane Society, Help the Homeless, Dairy Queen, and the UK Hospital Children's Miracle Network, Lindsey Wilson University, Off the Grid Installations, Inspiration IT, Lake Cumberland Real Estate Professionals, Minuteman Press, Goodwill of Somerset, Sergeant Joe's of Lake Cumberland, Home Pro Elite Property Maintenance, Encon Equipment, TexWorks, United Way of South Central Kentucky, the Young Entrepreneurs Academy. We have our student Kayleen Arthur that's here, the Center for Rural Development, Colonial Life Insurance, and Somerset Candle Company. Can we give them a big round of applause, please? We've got a ton of events going on. Usually in the summer we get a little bit of downtime. That has certainly not been the case. Horse Soldier made sure of that this past week, but we have some other events going on, and I'd like to make you aware of those. Some of those flyers are on your tables. Coming up on July 25th, I mentioned this last month, we're going to be hosting our second annual Somerset Night with the Lexington Legends. Last year we sold almost 1,000 tickets, and this year I'd like to sell more than that if we could. So this is going to be a Saturday evening game. There's fireworks afterwards. These are $10 tickets right on the field, and that's not with fees and other things. It's $10. So if you spend $100, you get 10 tickets. It's a great deal. We're encouraging businesses. What a great way to say thank you and reward your employees for doing some good work. Or if you just want a night out at the ballpark, this should be a great night with a whole lot of our friends here in Somerset. I've managed to talk our judge executive and our Somerset city mayor into coming out to throw out the first pitches so we can see how good their strike zone is. We're going to see how that works, but I feel like it's going to be pretty good. It should be a great night. Bring the kids, have a good night. What's more fun than a night at the ballpark with the Lexington Legends? It's one of their biggest community nights of the year, so I would encourage everybody to come out. I think we've already sold over 600 tickets, so I'm pretty sure we'll sell over 1,000 this year, but if you haven't done that, there's a QR code on the flyer. You can call them directly and just tell them it's for Somerset Night. Any number of ways you can order those tickets. You can call our office and we'll walk you through it. Any number of ways. If you want to buy 2 or 200, they can accommodate you. The other thing that we have coming up on August 13th, we're going to have our annual legislative update out at Sorrento's Bar and Grill. That is formerly the Harbor Restaurant at Lee's Ford Marina. So this is something that we do every summer. It's probably one of our most popular summer events. We'll have our entire state legislative delegation there that night. They will talk about accomplishments in the past legislative session, and they will talk about things that they would like to accomplish in the upcoming legislative session. So when the Speaker Pro Tem, and that's fancy speak for the second most important person in the House of Representatives behind the Speaker of the House, when he joins us and he says something's probably going to be a law, it's probably going to be a law. So it's something to come out. It's a great opportunity for you to interact with our state legislators and just ask questions and talk with them and interact. It's free for our members. I think there's a little charge for anybody else, but this is always a wonderful event. It's going to be from 5:30 to 7:30 that evening of Thursday, August 13th at Sorrento's. I would encourage everybody to mark that on your calendars. Always a very nice event. And this year we've brought a radio legend out of retirement to MC, and I'm looking at him over there. I see Mike Tarter over there, Fork Broadcasting for many years now with the Kentucky Broadcasting Association. Mike has decided to come out and MC this and keep all these guys in line all night. So good luck. We had Chuck Coldiron last year, and I think he lent to the problem. He had a lot of fun. Told a lot of bad jokes. It was fantastic. So this year, Mike, you've got to wind up some bad jokes for us or something. But he'll be there to MC. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a really good time. The last thing I want to talk about before I turn the program over is I want to talk a little bit about our Young Entrepreneurs Academy, because that's why, for me, this is an anchor. This is a pillar of our Chamber of Commerce. We talk about education a lot. I can't think of two things that we would do that's more important than actually help identify and train the future of our community, our future business owners. I think it's paramount to the mission of what a Chamber of Commerce needs to do. We need to find those entrepreneurs, and we need to make sure that we get them the tools they need and put them on the track to be successful moving forward. So we've been doing the Young Entrepreneurs Academy now for 12 years, is that right? 12 long years. 12 years. It's a wonderful program. It's anywhere from 18 to 20 weeks long. We teach these kids how to start and run their own businesses, middle and high school students, and we've had a lot of fun with this program over the years. We've always said that it gives you the good, the bad, and the ugly of being a business owner. But they will put together a business plan. They will be paired with a mentor from our business community. I see several that are actually with us today that have been a mentor at some point in these students' lives. They will help them put that business plan together. And just like the show Shark Tank, which we've all seen at some point, they're going to get to pitch their business to a group of local investors who have real money that they will be able to invest into these students' businesses. So to date, we've handed out over $110,000 to students who haven't won the program, just who have completed the program and then have been funded in their mission. So for instance, this year, we fully funded every student that was in the class. We gave them a minimum of $1,000 to help them start their businesses. We've handed out now 12 full college scholarships, compliments of Campbellsville University. They have been a tremendous partner for us. We've handed out over $1.25 million in college scholarship money to Campbellsville University. So those scholarships equate out to over $1.25 million that we've actually been able to hand out. For me, it's one of the most rewarding things that we get a chance to do at the Chamber. I tell people every single time and every chance I have that Reese Shook is our program manager, and she is absolutely the best to ever do it. She's tremendous. I appreciate everything that you do on a yearly basis. You are undervalued every day and underappreciated, but I want to say thank you for everything you do for us in this program. You can't do it without a good program manager, and Reese is here today. She gets to do something fun. She gets to hand out a scholarship. And the hospital's here, and they're going to get to hand out a scholarship to our runner-up. So this is a good day, folks. I'm very excited about this. This is one of my favorite opportunities that we have. These kids are special. and they're really good kids. And I mean, to be able to do this, I mean, they're doing this outside of class. They're doing this on Tuesday evenings. They're spending, you know, probably close to 75 to 100 hours putting in on this program right here. And I always say these are the good kids. These are the ones that they want to be there. They're special. And, you know, our young lady that won this year just got back recently from Texas, where she got to go compete against other regional winners from around the country. So it's pretty cool. And I'll let Reese tell you a little bit more about that. But Reese, I'd like to ask you to come up and do some fun things.
So yes, the YAY program is very, very dear to my heart, and truly couldn't do it without the incredible sponsorships from our local businesses here in our community that support this program. Then also my mentors, my teachers, my guest speakers, if any of those are in the house today. Again, your dedication to these students and to your time is no doubt taken through a lifetime with my students. This year's group, we had some creativity, passion, strong ideas with all of our students. And we had two that stood out on Investor Night that we're going to present tonight with some scholarships. But as Bobby said, we went to Dallas, Texas for nationals. We had a really good time. Colleen gave it her all. Again, they were all winners, but we're kind of unique. Our chapter gives that full scholarship through Campbellsville. The other chapters, which were nationwide, do not do that. So they're all there competing for what Colleen had actually already won. But it was a great experience for both of us. It was my first live. We had a really good time. And so, again, she's already a winner. But we'll go ahead and we'll get started. The Old Bridle and Banner is a horse therapy business built around a meaningful mission. And I want to honor Sabrina Thomas, if you'll come up, and Carolyn, if you can come up from the hospital. Sabrina has a business that she works with therapy with her horses. She works with VA people that have anxiety, disabilities. She's done several things with that. Her mission is great. So if anybody has any interest in that, see Sabrina afterwards. But we're going to go ahead and get your scholarship here. This was a tough decision, I think, whenever our investors come out that night. These two young ladies actually, I think, were tied. So both of them had really strong ideas and passion with what they're doing. So my next that I'm going to introduce is Miss Colleen Author. And she has Fur Baby Bubbles. And if you've not already bought your Fur Baby some soap, she's got a table over there with some samples, soap for sale. She has a great product, a lot of energy. She's going to do great things in her life. I'm proud of her. Tammy, if you'll come up. Colleen has won a scholarship to Campbellsville University. And so she's got a few years, but... And before I exit the stage, let's all wish Bobby a happy birthday.
Well, thank you, Reese, until the very end there. Appreciate that. When you get older, you don't really highlight your birthday as much, but I appreciate that. Thank you. Again, congratulations to these young women. I'm so incredibly proud of them and the journey that they went on this past year. And if you know anybody that has a middle or high school student and they've got a small business or they have that entrepreneurial spirit, there's not a better program in the state of Kentucky than our Young Entrepreneurs Academy, and I would encourage you to reach out and talk to us about getting them involved. We'll be on the recruitment trail. Before you know it, we'll be going to every school. Reese and I will be beating the pavement, and we'll be talking to students, but you never know who you might miss. So I would encourage everybody, if you know anybody who would be interested in participating, let us know. If you would like to be a mentor or get involved in this program, I would challenge you to do this. You will have a tremendous, there's no better feeling than when these kids pitch their businesses at the end of the year. And you see kids that came in on night one and, they had no idea what they were doing. And they come out the other side of this science experiment. It's really rewarding to see. It's phenomenal. So big thank you to everybody who's always been involved in this. At this time, I'm going to turn the program over to my boss, Dr. Bruce Gover, and he is going to bring this program home.
Thank you, Bobby, and happy birthday. I know you might not want to hear it, but happy birthday. I know somebody else got a birthday, too. I just made that connection. Dr. Castle sitting over here, birthday today, too. So you too. Yeah, happy birthday, Dr. Castle. Yeah. I see you and Bobby have those two things in common, or the thing in common at least. So, all right. Happy birthday to everybody who happens to have a birthday today. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here once again for our monthly chamber luncheon. I'd like to welcome all of our guests, all our public officials, the representatives, and our members. I'd like to, at this point, recognize several of our sponsors. As you all know, we talk about this every month, but we could talk about it every day and still wouldn't be enough. The sponsors that help the chamber enable us to do everything that we do. All the things, all the programs, all the things that happen are because of you all. And it's my honor to give you this recognition each month. So I'd like to recognize our world-class sponsors. You see all of our sponsors on the wall behind me. You also see them on your table that's there. We do have a new world-class sponsor this month I'd like to recognize, Community Trust Bank. Community Trust has been a sponsor for a while. They have actually moved up from the ambassador role into the world class. So thank you, Community Trust Bank. I'd like to recognize our Chairman Circle sponsors as well, and our Ambassador Circle sponsors. Again, thank you all for everything that you do for us. Also like to give my appreciation, the Chamber's appreciation to the Center for Rural Development for providing this awesome space for us today. Sassy Spoon Catering, Coca-Cola Bottling of Somerset, and Pepsi-Cola Bottling of Somerset as well. Thank you all each and every month for what you do. At this point, I would like to ask William Hunt to come forward, and we're going to recognize our new chamber businesses.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here today to welcome our newest chamber members to the chamber. But before I do, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Laura Glover, who covered for me last month when I wasn't able to be here. Laura loves the chamber, and she didn't mind doing it a bit. I know she's got a cheer club usually here somewhere. I think they're in the back. So, yeah, there they are. They're always here. But just make sure you tell Laura we appreciated her stepping in, coming out of retirement. So I'm going to try to cover the first ones that we believe are here today, and if you don't care, to hold your applause until we're completed. Biggie's Pick Stop, Ryan Dale and Zachary Bell. Are they here today? Thank you guys for being here. Next is Julio's Soul Food, Julio Roman. Thank you for being here today, sir. Smart World USA, Cody Young. Is Cody able to be here today? Don't think so. Okay. Chittum Law, Cody Chittum. All in the back. Thank you for being here. Home to Suites of Somerset, Ja'Kay Martin. I saw Ja'Kay. There she is. Thanks, Ja'Kay. And I saw this gentleman, Royal Roofing, Hayden Fox. I believe he's in the back there. Thank you for being here. Dylan's All Year Care, Dylan Thomas. I don't think he's here. All right. Greenleaf Dispensary, Ankle Patel. Nope. Lakeview Advisory Group, Jake Ramirez. All right, and I believe the remainders, we still want to recognize them because they're our newest members. I don't think they're here, though, but if you are, please do stand. Apex Solutions, Tanner Gilmore. CCW Cantina, Street Eats Food Truck, Candace Lewis and Willie Smith. And the last one is Southern Organized Cheer Support, Denise Randall and Hannah Whitaker. All right, well, if you'll join me in a round of applause for all of our new members.
At this point, I'd like to recognize our chamber ambassadors. So if you are a chamber ambassador, would you all please stand up? Let us give you a round of applause for all the work that you do for us. That group works very hard for the chamber, and I appreciate that very much. And I know the chamber board does as well. And at this point, there's one of those folks that we get to recognize each month as the ambassador of the month. And so this month, I'd like to recognize Caitlin Baker as the ambassador of the month. Congratulations. Thank you, Caitlin. Do we have any chamber board members with us today? I know we got a bunch today. So if you're a chamber board member, will you all please stand up? I'd like to recognize you all for the work that you all do each and every month for this chamber as well. So, thank you. This month, we've been a busy month, as you all know. Seems like these months roll around quicker all the time, but if you participated with us during this past month at the Chamber Golf Tournament, how many of you did that? A lot of you all. I remember seeing a lot of faces there. Very good event, very successful event, and I thank you all for participation in that annual event. I'd like to thank today's lunch sponsors, Campbellsville University, as we saw them earlier, and Somerset Hardwood Floorings. Can we give them a round of applause for sponsoring today's lunch? If you all have read anything in the news lately or seen anything on TV, most likely the every other one or almost everything anymore talks about AI, artificial intelligence. So today we get to learn a little bit about artificial intelligence with a special guest speaker today. So I'm glad you're here to hear this. I'm looking forward to this as well. It's something that is certainly on my mind in the educational sphere and the things that we do there. It's on the minds of businesses. It's on the minds of just about everybody that's there. And I'm glad that we as Chamber are able to bring in some experts in the field to tell us a little bit more about artificial intelligence. So with that, our speaker today is Dr. Jordyne Carmack, a dynamic leadership strategist who empowers professionals to transform workplaces into thriving, collaborative environments through connection and innovation. The founder and owner of AuthentiLEAD, she's a TEDx speaker, a nonprofit executive, and lover of Tex-Mex food. I like that too. She's on a mission to ignite transformative impact through leadership training that energizes teams, enhances creativity, and achieves remarkable outcomes. So if you all will, join me in giving Dr. Jordyne Carmack, a Somerset-Pulaski County Chamber of Commerce, welcome.
All Is it going to be okay if I hold the mic this way? I'm a little bit too short standing behind a podium. Miss Crystal, the full screen is on the bottom right. I know I'm using Canva. Do you see it? One more over. There we go. Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. All right, first of all, it is great to be with a hometown crowd. Like you said, my name is Jordan, and I am actually from over in Laurel County in London, but I have been a proud Somerset Chamber member for the last year, and it's been a pleasure to serve several of your businesses since founding my business a couple of years ago. Hi! And my favorite little kiddo is in the back corner, and I just spotted her, so excuse me if I mom out for just a second. As an entrepreneur myself, it was a joy to see your young entrepreneurs recognized and realize how many valuable skills they gain through going through programs like that. And as we get ready to have a conversation about AI and artificial intelligence, I encourage you to, if you can, be a little open-handed with maybe some of the fears you brought into today's conversation. Because the very phrase, at least in the teams that I've been working with, whenever they hear AI, the first thing they think of is the Terminator. Anybody else? iRobot? Right? We've got all of these scary movies that we've been sci-fi movies over the last few years that have been telling us that if the computers start to think, we're all doomed. Today, we're going to try to be a little bit open-handed with that. All right? So, my first question for you is this. Now, we're going to take about 2 minutes at your table. Let's see if this works today. All right, Crystal, I'll let you do it. What is one thing you and your team actually need to know about AI? I'm going to give you exactly 2 minutes to talk about it at your table. What's one thing you think in your organization you need to know? Go. All right, you've got 1 more minute. Maybe you've already come up with your answer. All right, choose one person to be a spokesperson for your table to share the one thing you guys came up with. And then I'd like that one person to stand up and find another table and share your answer with their representative. Everybody got it? So if you are representing your table and the one idea, I'd like you to stand now and take your idea to another table. So find somebody and share it with that next group. Now I'm seeing some tables over here that didn't stand somebody up. They're a little nervous. They're like, I'm not even sure where to start here. And once you've shared that idea, you can have another seat. So my quick question for you is this. How many of you shared the same thing? Those of you who are having those conversations, yeah. Most likely, the ideas that were brought together were different, weren't they? You see, one of the things that we're noticing about artificial intelligence in particular is that it means so many different things to so many different people that when we use a term like AI literacy, what does it mean to understand AI, to use it well? We all bring lots of different definitions to the table. Now, with these different definitions, one of the most important things that we need to do as communities is get everybody on the same page about what this technology is and what it means for our communities. Because when we all have different perspectives, different fears, different things we're excited about and different concerns, one of the best things we can do is get everybody on the same page and communicating clearly. Crystal, if you'd go to the next slide for me. Like he mentioned a second ago, my name is Dr. Jordyne Carmack, and I'm the founder and CEO of AuthentiLEAD. And so we do leadership development for organizations and teams. And initially, the focus, yes, was on human-to-human communication. But one of the things that I was seeing a demand for and finding is that the way that I communicate with other humans is often very similar to how I can communicate with AI. You see, the same skill set that we need as communicators with other humans is also quite effective with the technology, but we're still treating it like it's Excel. We're still treating it like it's just software. And this is why the term AI literacy becomes very useful. Let's go to the next slide. Now, you might be familiar with AI being able to do something like this. I don't think Bobby can see this. But this is a video I stole off of, a photo I stole off of his Facebook page and ran through a free simulator that created a video of him waving. And man, if I had known it was your birthday, whoo, that would have been a lot funnier because we would have done something fun with that. Maybe we're bringing a lot of this concern, right? Is that video on the right. Man, I know, we can just watch it over and over again. It looks pretty realistic, doesn't it? If you saw that on social media, would you think it was real? That sends chills down my spine. Yours too, right? Most people right now are used to AI that is just creating. And yes, AI is very good at creating new images, creating new text. But why is it that it's able to do that? How can it create something that looks so lifelike? So let's go on to the next slide. So the definition we're going to be using for AI literacy, and you can click it a couple of times for me, is this one right here. So AI literacy is the foundational set of competencies that allows individuals to understand, evaluate, and use AI effectively and responsibly. There's a lot of ineffective AI use going around right now. I think we've all seen some of these things going around on social media, right? It said, man, they could tell that's AI generated. That's not very good. Right? But are we using it responsibly in a way that ultimately lifts up our communities, that ultimately lifts up our people and empowers them to do more? And so this is the definition that I like to start with. And we are getting ultimately some guidance from the federal and state governments about what does this need to look like? Because when I think about my daughter's future, she's 5, she starts kindergarten in the fall, I'm thinking about what types of work is she going to need to be able to do? What skills does she need to be able to have? And these are the questions that we're asking, because the things that worked for us 30 years ago are going to be very different 20 years from now, especially because of the rate of change that we're seeing in this technology. Raise your hand if you tried ChatGPT in 2023. What about 2024? 25? Raise your hand if you just used it this year or never used it. If you tried ChatGPT or any other large language model tool in 2023, you tried that tool in 2023. It was capable of a fraction of what it can do now. And what we need to know as the employers of the future, as the educators of the future, those who are going to be hiring our next generation, bringing them onto our teams, we need to know what are the skills they need to have and how are they going to impact our businesses, right? What does our business need to have? Maybe it's an AI policy. Just out of curiosity, raise your hand if you have an AI policy at your organization. This is a great starting point. I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. But having some guardrails around how we use this technology so it's ultimately used for good and not for evil, right? All right, let's go to the next slide. So this is the first part of the framework that the federal government put out in February of 2026 to workforce development boards and educational institutions, saying, hey, these are the skills that we think that need to be developed in Americans in general in order for us to meet the growing need of an AI-supported workforce. So we're going to walk through pretty quickly each of those pieces. But I want to start with this question, right? Because the stat totally threw me. So I do a lot of work with human resource officers and stay pretty engaged with our local SHRM groups. And one of the stats that surprised me is this one right here, is they asked in 2026 is, are your employees thriving? In 2024, it was 66% said they were thriving. We're down to 44%. That's a significant decrease in employee thriving. Other things that are happening. Next slide. So, concern about job displacement is one of those major concerns that we're seeing contextually. It's up from 28% to 40% in the last 2 years. We're worried. Is AI going to, quote unquote, take our jobs? I've literally had somebody tell me in a training, why would I teach a piece of technology to do my job because my company will just fire me? That's the fear that we're taking into these situations. Other things that were going on. One of the things that we're seeing from Burson is that 74% of companies say that they're not keeping up with their organization's demand for new skills. We're having a hard time keeping people up to date. It's hard enough keeping up with what Microsoft is changing from a software perspective, much less all of the other tools that we're doing and the different skills we need as employers in order to be effective. Gartner released in May, by 2027, 50% of enterprises without a people-centric AI strategy will lose their top AI talent. Those who have the skills to use this technology well, we need a policy, we need a plan in place to continue supporting all of our workforce as they develop these skills. And then this last one is the one that I think we see in the news quite a bit, is that since late 2024, we're seeing a decline of 35% in entry-level job postings. Many of you have probably seen the stats for those who are graduating college, trying to go into the workforce, and they're having a very difficult time finding those entry-level positions because some of that work has been offloaded to technology, right? Or they're using existing employees to do it and expanding. So these are just a few things, some of those concerns that we bring to the table whenever we talk about AI. Let's look at the next one, because if you haven't, maybe you've heard of some of these in the news, but there are a few other ones that I want to go ahead and make sure we think about before we look at what's in this framework. So we're concerned about cognitive offloading. So what is that? That's whenever I let an AI tool, an artificial intelligence tool, do work for me instead of doing it myself, because it does it faster and maybe better. And so I experience a cognitive decline because of that. I've got a very simple example. My background was in higher education. I taught in the classroom full-time 7 years, still continue to teach adjunct, and I used a whiteboard all the time. And I will never forget the first time I stood at the whiteboard and couldn't remember how to finish spelling a word. That became a lot more difficult when I had predictive texting. When I had that little spell check at the bottom and I could get halfway through a word and then, oh, there it was, and finish it. I'm offloading that work of spelling and thinking through that word to the technology. And so this is happening. We're seeing this happen in some of the use of the AI technology. Another concern is what we call work slop. This is where for example, an AI tool creates 10 pages whenever one page would do, and it's really not high quality work. Shadow AI, many of your organizations are probably experiencing this, especially if you don't have an AI policy. So the thing that we're seeing is that maybe my boss says don't use AI and it's not on my work computer, but I can pull out my phone and then I can ask ChatGPT that question on my phone because it's unregulated. And if you have an IT person on your team, this is something that keeps them up at night. Is because how much of your organizational data is being processed through tools outside of your safety and security net. And then finally, the culture debt piece. And this is the one that as a human person, as somebody who helps organizations build org culture, this is the thing that I really want to make sure we are paying attention to. If I have a company that is using new technology and they are telling me to use it, or maybe even giving me a license, but not teaching me how to use it, not telling me what the plan is for it, and how it impacts work, I'm going to start to develop a little bit of fear. A little bit of distrust. I'm maybe not going to want to show up at work as much because, man, it just feels so uncertain. There's so much change, right? And so we see this impacting our organizations in negative ways. So many of these concerns I'm sure you have heard about and thought of. And so I want us to be able to hold both of these things as we talk about, yes, AI can improve the efficiency of our organizations. It can help us move faster, make wiser decisions with our data. It can help us reach more people and engage more creatively in our communities because of what it enables us to do. But we want to be strategic in how we teach and equip the people, the humans on our team. So what does this look like? And we're going to use the federal AI standards for us to talk through what this could look like in an organization. So let's go Let's talk about the first one. So click to the next slide. So first of all, we want to start with understanding what AI is and what it's not. Right? So, and then the second thing is want to know that it is a confident partner. It doesn't mean it's 100% accurate. So let's go to the next slide. And just so we are all on the same page about how this technology works, it's math, not magic. It's based off predictive analytics and prediction. So if you guys remember on the internet, we always joke that there are loads of pictures of cats. Everybody posted pictures of cats, right, in the early days of the internet. So what is this technology able to do? It looks at all of the pictures of the cat and says, all right, I think a cat has 2 ears and a tail and 2 eyes and a little cute nose. And the more and more pictures it has, the more easily it's able to say, hey, yeah, I think this is what a cat looks like. Because look at all these other cartoon cats. And then ultimately, we could have a picture of a cat drinking coffee. Because it has looked at all of this data and all of this information and found the patterns to create the new image. So it's all based on prediction and patterns. So the way I could create that video of Bobby is it has seen enough videos of people giving a thumbs up that it knows where each pixel needs to go to make it look realistic. Do you guys remember about a year ago we could spot AI images super easily because they would have extra fingers and extra hands and things just didn't really make sense? It's because it didn't have enough pictures yet to be able to more accurately predict the next photo. Now, it has more and more and more and more images. Every image we generate and we say, yes, that's good, or no, that's bad, we are training it to be better. What we know now is it can do this with text, it can do this with images, it can do this with video, it can do this with music. You guys might not have heard, but we did have a song break Billboard Top 100 that was entirely AI generated, was by an artist that didn't actually exist. Because it's the same process of understanding the data and then identifying those patterns and creating something from those patterns. So this brings up a big question. We need to determine, right, is it accurate? Is it real? Because every time it generates an image, because it's based on prediction, it might be 90% accurate, 95% accurate. There's still going to be some moments where it is not 100% accurate because it's guessing, right? Let's go to the next slide. Many of you have probably, let's go one more, we're going to skip this one, have seen the AI overviews popping up on Google. So by a quick show of hands, tell me if you think these AI overviews are more than 50% accurate. If you think it's at least 50% accurate. Keep them up if you think it's more than 60% accurate. 70%, 80%, 90%. Wow, so you guys really doubt those AI overviews, huh? So they did a study a couple of months ago in coordination with the New York Times. Let's go to the next slide to find out how accurate these AI overviews generally are. One of the things that they found is with Gemini 3, it was accurate 91% of the time. So for this group, maybe that does surprise you that it is that accurate. It's because it pulls from source data on the internet, kind of like we used to think about Wikipedia, right? As you go down to the bottom, where is its sources of information? And then I'm going to determine if those are credible. So 91% accurate is not 100% accurate though, right? How easy is it to figure out if something, that 10%, that 9%? What if it's accurate 95% of the time? 96% of the time. If you were an expert in a field, my encouragement is for you is you are not going anywhere. Because we need experts in every field who can pick up on that 3%, 4%, 5% inaccuracy. We're going to need people with expertise to be able to take us to that next level. And so that's something that we are really thinking about. So if I'm using this tool in my organization, the first thing I need to know is, do my employees understand that this is based on prediction? It's not like a formula in Excel. It's not equals, right? Equals sum, 1 plus 1 is going to give me 2 every time. It's based on prediction. So 90-something% of the time, it's going to be correct. Your people have to make sure that they're reviewing every piece of text, say in a graphic, to make sure that it didn't generate a wrong letter. Make sense? All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so the second piece is to explore AI uses. So along with this, we know that AI can accelerate the things we already do well. So this is my first recommendation, is to find those use cases of things that are already taking you, that you do repetitively over time. Maybe you do it once a week, maybe you do once a day, and it's something that maybe could be sped up by the technology. And so if you've been using ChatGPT, using Claude, using one of these tools, one of the things that I do recommend that you do is go ahead and ask it. Say, hey, this is something that I'm working on. What capacity do you have to help me improve this process? And it's going to provide you some different suggestions. Generally, it's going to work best in specific workflows with guardrails around it, ensuring that the data is pulling from the correct sources. Let's go to the next slide. So the third piece of this framework is about directing your AI tool. Some of you've probably heard of something called prompt engineering. That term is sort of going out, but really this is all about how you are interacting with the tool, whether it's, like I said, it's ChatGPT, it's Gemini, it's Claude. These are the set of instructions that you're using. And so one of the things, if you are just giving it a sentence and expecting it to come up with something awesome, you're really not giving it enough information. And so here's what I would say. Go to the next slide. If you want to improve your prompting, this is what I would do. First of all, make sure you've given it a role. It's sort of like telling it what part of the library to go and look in. I want you to go look in the nonfiction section, right? Don't pull me a fiction book about trees. I want a nonfiction book about trees. Telling it the role tells it where to find that information. Second is task. What do you want it to accomplish? Third is context. In the same way, if I was managing a new employee and that employee just started working here, they don't know that certain files are located in storage room B, do they? They just got there. They don't have the context. Your tools are the same way. Maybe the context they need is a certain document. Maybe it's access to a certain type of data. It's going to make up and fill in the blank if it doesn't have access to the context. And so just like you were directing another human, you want to equip it with enough context to be successful. And then finally, format. This is where you would tell it, hey, I want a bulleted list. I want it to be less than 5 words. What is the format of the output that you want? Are you looking for a 10-page report and research study? Are you looking for PowerPoint slides? What is your output? So with these 4 things, you can improve any prompts that you are using if you restructure. So this is an easy thing that you can introduce to your teams as they're using these tools. Next step. Step 4, and that 4th pillar, is to evaluate the AI outputs. This is the thing I see most frequently as the potential harm to an organization, is that it's trusting immediately that what the tool says is 100% true. One of the things that we know is it is designed to be confident in its answers. So it's going to say, yes, the sky is green. And it's going to give you all the signals like it knows what it's talking about, when maybe it doesn't. You have to leverage your own critical thinking to identify, is that true, is it not? And so for your employees, go to the next slide. These are a couple of the questions that I would encourage them to ask whenever they've used AI as a thought partner or a brainstorming partner. Is the result truthful and accurate? Second thing, does it reflect me and my employer authentically? And so from this perspective, one of the things that we're seeing is that the use of AI can result in some reduced trust with those that you serve. And so you want to make sure that it sounds like you as an organization. So if you have brand guidelines as from your marketing team, you want to make sure that they have those public so that anything that's created is put in that brand voice. And it's not just something generic or ChatGPT speak. And then finally, would I stake my reputation on it? This is a really important question, because if they wouldn't say 100% yes, I would give my go-ahead on this. You want them to be checking and verifying the output of the tool. 91% accurate is fantastic if you're throwing a hand grenade, right? It's not as good whenever you're using a sniper rifle. And so if you are doing work that requires high levels of precision, we want to be cautious with how we're using these tools. Next. This is the last thing. The recommendation is that we use AI responsibly. So whenever you're thinking about your organization, we want to make sure that we are protecting our organization and client data. If you work in HIPAA environments or environments that involve sensitive information, you want to make sure that you are working with your IT teams. In this chamber, you guys have some exceptional IT teams and agencies that are able to provide support for you, making sure that you have the right guardrails. My rule of thumb is that if you wouldn't post it on the internet, you shouldn't put it into a free AI account. So that free version of ChatGPT that you've been using, unless you would put that thing on the internet, don't put it into ChatGPT. At minimum, have a paid version that you are using that provides some level of data protection, because your data is what they're training it on if you are not paying for it. All right, as we come up to the end, so these are the and back me up. There we go. Those are the 5 pieces of it. This is available all online. I would be glad to talk with any of you about what this looks like in your organizations. Next slide. So what we've done is, over the last year and a half, built out a program called Future Ready Teams, which is designed to foster these skills, both human skills of judgment and delegation and metacognition, as well as the technical skills to use these well. Go on to the next slide for me. And then the last thing I wanted to equip you guys with is, this is a free download that has my favorite tools. People ask me all the time, Jordan, what do you like to use the most? What are the things that you're doing? This will provide you with some of those resources of what I've found over the last 3 years that has really working best for me. So would love to be able to help you guys out with those things and answer any questions that you may have. All right. And I think there might be one more slide, but otherwise, thank you guys so much.
Dr. Carmack, we thank you so much for being here and sharing what's a new frontier for us. I know that it's something that we talk a lot about in my industry, in education, but I'm glad you're here to get us started on this path. So, but I'd like to present to you this friend of the chamber, and we'd like to welcome you back anytime. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right, so we got a drawing Kayleen's going to do, and what do we got here? It's a special from Fur Baby Bubbles. All right. And you already got to give me this one out of there. Okay. All right, so if you all get out your tickets, let's look and see. The winning ticket is 3811091. 3811091. I hear it way back there. Awesome. That's great. Thanks, Bob. All right, we've got a lot of luncheon door prizes in addition to that. And so the first one is from Buffalo Wings and Rings. It's a Buffalo Wings and Rings gift card, $25. Winning ticket is 113439. Right over here, Charlie, it looks like. Okay, next on the list is the Cumberland Grill gift card, $25, donated by the Cumberland Grill. Ticket number is 420962. 420962. Right here. All right. Next one are 2 MMF VIP weekend passes, donated by the Master Musicians Festival. That would be ticket number 420968. 420968. You'll find it? Somebody? Okay, good. Next on the list is 1 golf umbrella, donated by Minuteman Press. Ticket number 113487. 113487. Oh, way back. All right. Next up, donated by the Center for Rural Development to Murder Mystery Dinner at the Center for To the Moon and Back. Ticket number 113431. 113431. Oh, right up here in the front. And I'd also like to mention the center folks had asked me to say there's 10% off tickets today if you use code CHAMBER. I think that's at centertech.com. Is that right? Okay, centertech.com, 10% off tickets today to the moon and back. So check that out as well. Thank you all for donating that. And last, but certainly not least, where's Dan? I see Dan Cheshire somewhere. Free blizzards for a year from DQ. So, okay. All right. 113342. 113342. Right over here, outside Charlotte. All right. Okay. Congratulations to all the winners. And thank you all for those that donated prizes. Now, as we wrap up today, I would like to call your all's attention to next luncheon, if you will, Tuesday, August 4th. We've got tourism update with Michelle Allen, Leslie Eichert, and Amy Mills. So hopefully y'all will join us back for that. And as we close, we've got a special guest today. I could ask Mr. John Apicella to come forward. U.S. Coast Guard retired, is going to lead us in the pledge. So thank you, sir, for being here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Apicella.